St. Mark's is a unique place. There's a certain level of crazy that is here that I have never witnessed anywhere else, and people who are here embrace it.
It doesn't matter being proper, and you just make it up as you go along. And you're here, you're an individual. That's very big, and that's what St. Mark's is like.
Yeah, I think the author, Ada Calhoun, really said it best. I mean, St. Mark's Place is really for people who really haven't chosen their lives yet. It's for the wanderer. It's for the people who are still trying to figure shit out. Look at it now, it's hard to believe that one time it was this Dutch farmland that was actually owned by Peter Stuyvesant, who was the first executive general of New Amsterdam, which was what New York used to be. So there's really very few traces of Peter Stuyvesant left here on St. Mark's Place, except for the fact that his remains are actually buried in St. Mark's Church, right up on 2nd Avenue and 9th Street. So west of here, John Jacob Astor, during the 19th century, he built up a lot of real estate over there, and that area really developed all around Washington Square. But the area east of it, which is now St. Mark's Place, was left really barren. So there's actually been a lot of famous residents that have lived on St. Mark's Place. During the 19th century, James Fenimore Cooper lived here. Eliza Hamilton, who was Alexander Hamilton's widow, actually lived here. At one point, she was really strapped for cash. Family didn't have much money, and this was a really cheap area to live. So she actually lived here. Her address was number 4 St. Mark's. And around the time that Hamilton's widow left this area, we begin to see a huge influx of immigration from Europe coming into the Lower East Side and into the East Village. And St. Mark's Place really became known as Little Germany, otherwise known as Klein Deutschland, which was like a huge hub for German immigrants. Around 1917, Leon Trotsky actually lived here when he came from Russia after the revolution. His address was 80 St. Mark's Place.
I think that the combination of it being a poor working class community for so many years and a transportation hub, and so close to Cooper Union and the galleries that used to be down here, and the small theaters, it was always a Center for the Arts.
So it was around 1965 that we begin to see a huge influx of beatniks and hippies hanging out on St. Mark's Place, especially in front of the Gem Spa. That became a huge hangout spot for hippies. They would drink their egg creams there and hang out in front. So there was a Polish social club on St. Mark's Place known as Arlington Hall, which eventually became the Electric Circus, which became a huge nightclub where Andy Warhol used to have his shows. One of the shows that Warhol used to have here was the Exploding Plastic Inevitables, where people would come and hang out and see really cool light shows and great music. In fact, the house band was Velvet Underground, which got their start at the Electric Circus.
You can't help me, not you guys, or all you sweet pretty girls with all your sweet pretty talk. You can all go take a walk.
Then with the later 1960s, early 1970s, this became the Haight-Ashbury of New York. And that has been really replaced. The nightlife is more young people from New Jersey and Long Island coming to find the bars that have grown up over the years. St. Mark's has become kind of one of the largest, densest collections of bars in New York. I've often described the bars on St. Mark's Place as 79 flavors of loud, where we're still the old neighborhood bar where you can come and talk and present art and present culture.
We've also seen a lot of film production here. The movie Kids, 1995 by Larry Clark. Some of that is shot right here on St. Mark's Place. Broad City is shot here. Episodes of Girls on HBO has been shot here. There's a huge music scene down here. Led Zeppelin's album cover for Physical Graffiti is shot right here on St. Mark's Place. Billy Joel's music video, Matter of Trust. The Rolling Stones music video for Waiting on a Friend. You see Mick Jagger and Peter Tosh hanging out on a stoop.
I'm just waiting on a friend.
Back in the 60s and 70s, there's a strong element of ethnic community boundaries where you had a group of ethnic communities living together, and was a community of small shops and small businesses. What we're seeing now is really a sea change. For the first time throughout its history, the buildings were owned by families like mine that were middle-class working families that ran the building and had a business in the building and were directly involved in the lives of their tenants to be there. And what's now happened, about 12 people on the Lower East Side, and those 12 people are part of what is described as the 1%, and involved with the death of the middle class in America. So what's happened on St. Mark's is basically what's happening in America. You're seeing this happening in community after community, where people would move out to Williamsburg to establish the new St. Mark's place and then be priced out of there. The tension between people who believe that the country belongs to the people who built it and people who believe that the country belongs to people who bought it.
To be fair, in the old days, it was going too far in the other direction. It was too dangerous. It was, it wasn't fun anymore. It wasn't, people getting along with each other and like that.
It's been dirtier. It's been more full of criminals, more hours of the day.
The hardcore criminals had moved in, so that was no good. So it has been, but it still has the individuality. It still has, the idea that you can have in a room, a carpenter and an artist and a college professor and anything you can imagine, and they all have a good time. It's just a place where, you come to see other different people, different points of view.
You still have a remarkably diverse community here, but it's a shrinking community. We're basically more and more becoming a community of NYU dorms, and NYU is kind of spreading over this neighborhood and eating up the neighborhood and destroying much of what people come to New York for.
St. Mark's is always St. Mark's, and none of those things are ever going to change.
It doesn't matter being proper, and you just make it up as you go along. And you're here, you're an individual. That's very big. And that's what St. Mark's is like.
It's been reinvented any dozen times, but it's still a place that is full of energy and creativity, and you can be sure that whatever the thing is that the world is doing, it started on St. Mark's Place 2 years before.
And the best thing about St. Mark's Place is that it just allows you to be an individual.